Hello, my name is Derek Carter.
And I'm Kawanta Sampson. We will be addressing competition and driving growth tonight for Chapter 12. This chapter examines growth, the role competition plays, and how marketers can best manage their brands, given their market position and the stage of product life. Competition grows more intense every year, from the global competitors eager to enter new markets, from the online competitors seeking cost efficient ways to expand distribution, from private label and store brands providing low price alternatives, and from brand extensions by mega brands moving into new categories. For these reasons and more, product and brand fortunes change over time, and marketers must respond accordingly.
In this presentation, we're going to discuss growth and growth strategies. We're also going to talk about growing at the core, market and market leaders. In addition, we're going to talk about market challengers, followers, and niches, the marketing strategies in the product lifecycle, and marketing in a slow growth economy. Something we have to ask ourselves when talking about competition and growth is, why is growth important? Obviously, growth is essential for the success of any firm. Growth strategies. With any organization, you want to strategize how you're going to grow that organization. You can grow the organization by building your market share. You can grow by developing committed customers and stakeholders. You can grow by building a powerful brand. Growing is also accomplished by innovating new products and services. You can grow by international expansion. Growth can also be accomplished through acquisitions, mergers, and alliances. You can grow by building an outstanding reputation for social responsibility. Growth can also be done by partnering with government and non-government organizations. A key component of growing any organization or firm is growing the core. You want to make your core of the organization as distinctive as possible. You want to drive distribution through both existing and new channels and offer your core products in new formats or versions. You also want to, an advantage of growing at the core is that it is less risky than expansion into new product categories. And growing at the core also leads to greater profits through improved revenues and lower costs. When growing at the core, you're essentially using your core product that you already have established and making it better and growing that product versus having to start all over and grow something completely different through expansion. This figure right here represents a hypothetical market structure. This market structure includes the market leader, which makes up typically 40% of the market challenger, which is your number two competitor to the market leader and makes up approximately 30% of the market. Then you have market followers that make up 20% of the market, and then market nichers that account for 10% of the market. The market leader is obviously the leader of the market. And for them to pretty much stay on top, the best way to accomplish that is for them to expand. But how do market leaders expand? Firms that are market leaders benefit from expanding the market. This is because they own the biggest percentage of the market. So when that market expands, their percentage of the market may not expand, meaning that the 40% that they account for is still going to be 40%, but those dollars are represented, are increased because 40% of 10 is less than 40% of 20 if they were to grow the market to 20. That expansion is typically done by obtaining new customers or stimulating more usage of products sold. Obtaining new customers. Typically, there are three groups of new customers. You have customers who might use any given product that you have but don't. You have customers who have never used your product, and then you have customers who live elsewhere or outside of the reach of your product. Gaining new customers without losing existing customers is an essential goal of expanding the customer base. Could you imagine working hard to obtain new customers and in the process of that, losing your existing customers? It would defeat the purpose and not accomplish the expansion that a market leader would hope to obtain. Encouraging more usage of existing products is also a way that a market leader can expand. Marketers can encourage more use of their product by identifying additional opportunities to use the brand in the same basic way. They can also identify completely new and different ways to use the brand. Now, with a market leader, we just discussed how they could expand their market share. But what do they do to protect the market share that they already own? Proactive marketing is when the firm looks ahead to the needs a customer may have in the near future. This can be done through responsive anticipation, which is when the firm can see that a change is needed and makes that change. An example of this is when IBM switched from a hardware producer to a service business. They anticipated that they could not sustain the hardware business they were currently in, and they had the foresight to move to a service business, which proved to be more profitable for them and a way forward in the industry. Creative anticipation is when the firm develops innovative solutions customers did not ask for, but enthusiastically respond to. An example of this could be the latest and greatest new feature on any given phone, whether it's Apple or Android. A lot of times, these manufacturers are able to come up with creative new ideas and solutions that become popular among their customer bases. Once they do this, everybody is enthusiastic to upgrade to the latest phone because of the creative anticipation either of those companies have. Another way that market leaders protect their market share is through defensive marketing. Defensive marketing can involve 6 different strategies. The position defense is a strategy that involves the firm occupying the most desirable position in consumers' minds, making the brand almost impregnable. If you have a customer that is sold on Apple and is only going to mess with Apple products, Apple has positioned their brand in a way where they're not going to look at any other phone or any other product that performs the needs of the product they already have. Another defensive marketing strategy is the flank defense. The flank defense involves erecting outposts to protect a weak front or support a possible counterattack. This may involve establishing alternative products that are less expensive when the attack against the firm is high cost. Another defensive marketing strategy, or the third, is preemptive defense. This is a more aggressive approach which suggests that the market leader should attack first with guerrilla action across the market, hitting one competitor here, another there, and keeping everyone in the market off balance. The fourth strategy is the counteroffensive defense. The counteroffensive defense is when the market leader can meet the attacker head on and attack the competitor's flank or other method of attack, so that the attacker is forced to pull back their attack. Another form of this defense is for the market leader to exercise economic or political clout, subsidizing lower prices on competing products with revenue from more profitable products, or announcing upgrades earlier than anticipated to prevent customers from buying the competitor's product, and is an example of economic clout. Political clout would involve the market leader lobbying political leaders to take political action that would disrupt competitor operations or allow the firm to pursue legal action against the competitor. Mobile defense is the fifth defense a market leader can use. Mobile defense is a defense market leaders can employ by stretching its domain over new territories through market broadening and market diversification. Market broadening shifts the company's focus from the current product to the underlying generic need. Market diversification shifts the company's focus into unrelated industries. The sixth defense market leaders can use is the contradiction defense. This is when the firm determines it can no longer defend all of its territory, so the firm gives up weaker markets to its competitors and reassigns resources to stronger markets to fortify them and prevent competition takeover. Now that we've discussed the market leaders, we're going to touch on some of the other market participants. Market challengers are the next biggest competitor to the market leader in any given market. The market follower, as discussed earlier, falls behind the market challengers. The market follower is content with this share of the market and does not want to rock the boat, so to speak, to cause any disruptions to current market position. Market nichers serve smaller sections larger firms don't reach. They account for owning the smallest percentage of the market. Market challenger strategies. Market challengers are, as we discussed, the next tier of own the next biggest share of the market. They also have to employ strategies in order to hopefully obtain and become the market leader if they so desire. Market challengers should set high aspirations while market leaders can fall prey to running business as usual. This implies that challengers have a carrot to chase after, so to speak. If I'm the leader of the pack of an organization, it would be very easy and very possible for me to fall into a sense of complacency because I'm already at the top. I'm expecting to be at the top forever, and in their minds, nothing can slow them down. The challenger, on the other hand, is aspiring to be the market leader. So they kind of have that hunger, that drive, and desire to do what they got to do to try to overtake the market leader. Challengers can also tap into public perceptions that they are the underdog to grow support. Just like in sports, some people root for the underdog just for the heck of it. And the same thing applies to this. Some customers may do business with a certain firm or organization just for the simple fact that they want to see the larger firm go down. Challengers have to also determine who they are going to attack by determining their strategic opponent. Determining the strategic opponent is important because the attack you're going to levy has to be focused on and have an objective for who you're going to attack. Market leaders can choose one of the following attack opponents. They can attack the market leader. This strategy should be used if the market leader is not servicing the market well. The market challenger can also attack firms of similar size and firms that are underfinanced. This strategy should be employed when firms of similar size have aging products, high prices, or cannot successfully serve its customers in other ways. Market challengers can also choose to attack small, local, and regional firms. This strategy should be used to keep small and regional firms from growing into firms of the same size as yours. Targeting their customer bases will force them to go out of business or merge with your organization. Market challengers can choose to attack the status quo, which is an attack on an industry as a whole. The nature of this attack focuses on the lack of adequacy others in the industry provide. This is only effective, however, when you have a clear distinction between your product and that of your competitor. The market challenger general attack strategy. Once the opponent is identified, the market challenger can use one of the general attack strategies against that opponent. Those strategies are the frontal attack, which is carried out by matching your opponent's product, advertising price, and distribution. Typically, the firm with greater resources will win using this strategy. Another general attack strategy is the flank attack. This is when the firm is able to identify the shift in the market that causes gaps in which the firm quickly fills to gain advantage over its competitors. The next attack is an encirclement attack. This is when the firm attempts to capture a wide slice of territory by launching a ground offensive on several fronts. This approach yields the best results when the market challenger has superior resources compared to its competitor. The bypass attack is another general attack strategy. This attack is used to bypass or avoid the competitor altogether. This is accomplished by diversifying into unrelated products, diversifying into new geographical markets, and leapfrogging into new technologies. The guerrilla attack consists of small intermittent attacks, conventional and unconventional, including selective price cuts, intense promotional blitzes, and occasional legal action to harass the opponent and eventually secure permanent footholds. The market follower is the next tier of companies that are in any given market. The market followers typically lack strategies. As a result, followers must define a growth path without inviting competition retaliation. The suggested strategies to accomplish this are the cloner, imitator, and adapter strategies. The cloner strategy emulates the leader's products, name, and packaging with slight variations. The intimidator strategy copies something from the leader but differentiates on packaging, advertising, pricing, or location. The adapter strategy takes the leader's products and adapts or improves them.
Market niche. An alternative to being a follower in a large market is to be a leader in a small market or a niche. Market niche strategies. Firms with low shares of the total market can become highly profitable through smart niching. Niches can weaken, so as a result, the firm must continue to create new niches. Firms entering a market should initially aim at a niche rather than the whole market. Product life cycle and marketing strategies. To say a product has a life cycle is to assert the following. Products have a limited life. Product sales progress through distinct stages, each posing different challenges, opportunities, and problems to the seller. Profits rise and fall at different stages of the product life cycle. Products require different marketing, financial, manufacturing, purchasing, and human resource strategies in each life cycle stage. Product life cycle stages. There are 4 stages in the product life cycle: the introduction, growth, maturity, and decline phases. The introduction period is a period of slow sales growth as the product is introduced into the market. The growth period is a period of rapid market acceptance and substantial profit improvement. The maturity period is a slowdown in sales growth because the product has achieved acceptance by most potential buyers. And the decline period is when the sales show a downward drift and profits erode. Style, fashion, and fad lifestyles. 3 special product life cycles are style, fashion, fad, and products. Style is a basic and distinctive mode of expression appearing in a field of human endeavors. Fashion, which is currently accepted or popular style in a given field, which pass through 4 stages. You have distinctiveness, emulation, mass fashion, and decline. You have fads, which are fashions that come quickly into public view and are adapted with great zeal, peak early, and decline very fast. These charts represent the different life cycles discussed. You have the introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. It shows where the profits decline and where the profits grew. Then it shows where the sales went up in the introduction, it went up some in the growth, and then it slowly declined. Then you have the style, fashion, and fad, which it shows different time frames. Marketing strategy introduction stage. Profits are negative or low, and promotion expenditures are at their highest ratio to sales because of the need to inform potential consumers, induce product trials, and secure distribution and retail outlets. Marketing growth strategy stage is marked by a rapid climb in sales. New competitors enter, attracted by the opportunities. They introduce new product features and expand distribution. Prices stabilize or they fall slightly depending on how fast demand increases. Profits increase as marketing costs are spread over a large volume and unit manufacturing costs fall faster than price declines, owing to the producer learning effect. Marketing strategy growth stage continued. To sustain rapid market share growth in the stage of the firm, you must do the following: improve product quality and add new features and improve styling, add new models and flanker products of different sizes, flavors, etc. to protect the main product, into new market segments, increase its distribution coverage and enters new distribution channels, shifts from awareness and trial communications to preference and loyalty communications. Lastly, but not least, lowers prices to attract the next layer of price sensitive buyers. Marketing strategy, maturity stage. The maturity stage divides into 3 phases. You have your growth phase, which sales grow, start slow. You have your stable stage, which sales per capita flatten because of market saturation. And then you have your third stage, which is decay and maturity, which is absolute level of sales, where it starts to decline and customers begin switching to other products. Marketing strategy maturity stage continued. There are 3 ways to change the course of a brand. Those options are by making market modifications, product modifications, or by making marketing program modifications. Market modification is when a company tries to expand the market for its mature brand by working with the two factors that make up sales volume, number of brand users, and usage rate per customer. You have your product modification, and when managers try to stimulate sales by improving quality, features, or style. Last, you have your marketing program modification. This is when brand managers try to stimulate sales by modifying non-product elements, price, distribution, and communications in particular. Marketing strategy decline stage. This is the stage when developing strategy in the decline stage of the firm must acknowledge the following. Sales decline for a number of reasons, including technological advances, shift in consumers' taste, and increased domestic and foreign competition. These factors result in overcapacity, increased price cutting, and profit erosion. The structural changes during the decline are different from a short-term decline resulting from a marketing crisis of some sort. As sales and profits decline, some firms will withdraw from the market. Knowing this in advance will help strategize this stage and manage the best outcome for the firm. Marketing strategy, the decline stage. Eliminating weak products. Maintaining weak products delays aggressive searches for replacement products, creating a lopsided product mix, long on yesterday's breadwinners and short on tomorrow's. Some firms abandon declining markets earlier than others, which depends on the height of exit barriers in the industry. The lower the barriers, the easier for the firms to leave the industry, and the more tempting for the remaining firms to stay and attract the withdrawing firms' customers. Marketing strategy, the decline stage. You have harvesting and divesting. Harvesting costs for gradually reducing a product or business's costs while trying to maintain sales. The first step is to cut research and development costs, facility costs, and equipment costs. A reduction of product quality sales force, marginal services, and advertising expenditures without letting customers and competitors and employees know what is happening. Harvesting is a difficult Harvesting is difficult to execute, yet many mature products warrant this strategy. It can substantially increase current cash flow. When a company decides to divest a product with strong distribution and residual goodwill, it can probably sell it to another firm. If the company cannot find any buyers, it must decide whether to liquidate the brand quickly or slowly, and it must also decide how much inventory and service to maintain for past customers. Evidence for the product life cycle concept. The product life cycle concept is illustrated in table 12.2. It summarizes the characteristics of the marketing objectives and marketing strategies of the four stages of the product of the life cycle. The product of the life cycle concept helps marketers interpret product and marketing dynamics, conduct planning and control, and do forecasting. The next slide summarizes the life cycle and the characteristics, the objectives, and the strategies. You have your introduction, you have your growth, maturity, and your decline. Your characteristics, which a couple are sales, costs, profits, customers, and competitors. You have low sales, high cost per customer, negatives, innovators. You have rising profits, early adapters, growing numbers, low cost per customers. You got middle majority, stable number beginning to decline, which those are different characteristics. Then you have your marketing objectives, which you have your different strategies. Some of those you have to offer a basic product. You can diversify brands and items and models. You can phase out weak products. You can build more intensive distribution, stress brand differences and benefits, and encourage brand switching. You can build product awareness and trial among early adapters and dealers. And you can even maximize profit while defending your market share. Reduce minimal level needed to retain hardcore loyals and phase out weak products and even cut prices. Critique of the product life cycle concept. The product life cycle concept has its share of critics who claim life cycle patterns are too variable in shape, duration to be generalized, and that marketers can seldomly tell which stage their product is in. The product life cycle pattern is the self-fulfilling result of marketing strategies, and that skillful marketing can in fact lead to a continued growth. Market evolution. Marketing evolution is the product life cycle that focuses on what is happening to a particular product or a brand rather than the overall market. It yields a product oriented rather than a market oriented picture. Firms also need to visualize a market's evolutionary path as it is affected by the new needs, competitors, technology, channels, and other developments, and change product and brand positioning to keep the pace. Like other products, markets evolve through four stages. Those stages are emergence, growth, maturity, and decline. A prime example would be the evolution of the paper towel market. Marketing in a slow growth economy. There are 5 guidelines for improving the odds of marketing success in a slow growth economy. The 5 are: explore the upside of increasing investment, get closer to customers, review budget allocations, put forth the most compelling value proposition, and fine tune brand and product offerings. Marketing in a slow growth economy continued. Explore the upside of increasing investment. Guidelines suggests exploiting a marketplace advantage, like an appealing new product, a weakened rival, or a neglected target market to develop. Get closer to customers. Guidelines recommends that during a slow growth economy, the firm should learn even more about what consumers are thinking, feeling, and doing. This especially is important for the loyal customer base that yields the most profits. Marketing in a slow growth of the economy continued. A review of budget allocations guidelines suggest a review of the budget. It can reveal promising new options and eliminate wasteful spending. If it does not yield results, it can also be a good time to experiment. Put forth the most compelling, valuable proposition guidelines. It focuses heavily on price reductions and discounts, which can harm long term brand equity and price integrity. Fine tune brand and product offering guidelines recommends marketers review product portfolios and brand architecture to confirm that brands and sub brands are clearly differentiated, targeted, and supported based on their prospects. Addressing the summary of Chapter 12 Competition and Driving Growth. Growth is essential for the success of any firm. Thus, to be a long term market leader is the goal of any marketer. Today's challenging marketing circumstances often dictate that companies reformulate their marketing strategies and offerings several times. Economic conditions change, competitors launch new assaults, and buyers' interests and requirements evolve. Through the years, as interesting competitive battle has been fought between FedEx and UPS, is which each has been a challenger on the other's home turf, which is a example of growth strategies, growing at the core, and market leaders. We have market followers, marketing strategies in the product of the life cycle, and marketing in slow growth economy.
So, as we wrap this discussion up about addressing competition and market strategies, I want to make sure that you take away the following. Growing the core or seeking organic growth, focusing on opportunities with existing products and markets is often a prudent way to increase sales and profits. A market leader has the largest market share in the relevant product market. To remain dominant, it looks to expand total demand and protect and perhaps increase its current market share. A market challenger attacks the market leader and other competitors in aggressive bid for more market share. There are 5 types of general attacks and specific attack strategies, which we discussed during this presentation. A market follower is a runner-up firm willing to maintain its market share and not rock the boat. It can be a cloner, imitator, or adapter. A market nicher serves small market segments ignored by larger firms. The key is specialization, which can command a premium price in the process. Companies should maintain a good balance of consumer and competitor monitoring and not overly focus on competitors. Technologies, product forms, and brands exhibit life cycle life cycles with distinct stages, usually introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. Most products today are in the maturity stage. The introduction stage is marked by slow growth and minimal profits. If successful, the product enters a growth stage marked by rapid sales growth and increasing profits. In the maturity stage, sales growth slows and profits stabilize. Finally, the product enters a decline stage. The company's task is to identify truly weak products and phase them out with minimal impact on company products, employees, and customers. Like products, markets evolve through stages: emergence, growth, maturity, and decline. And lastly, final item line to summarize this discussion is in a slow growth economy, marketers must explore the upside of increasing investments, get closer to customer, review budget allocations, put forth the most compelling value proposition to your customers, and fine tune the brand and product offering. Again, this has been Derek and
Kawanta Sampson.
we went over chapter 12. If you would like to email us with any questions regarding the chapter, please email me, Derek Carter, at drcarter01 at broncos.uncfsu.edu.
Like he said before, you can email Derek Carter and you can email me, Kawanta Sampson, at ksampson at broncos.uncfsu.edu. Thank you and have a wonderful night.
Before we go, I also want to thank our professor, Dr. Wu, for this challenging assignment. I think by presenting the material in this format really helped me and my partner gain a good grasp of the information. I think that moving forward at Fayetteville State, this group project has helped me learn how to better collaborate with other groups in other classes moving forward. This class was the first class I had a group project in. Thank you again, Professor Wu.